Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jeannie and today we'll talk about cozy and relaxing hobbies. Sometimes we're so busy in our everyday lives, we just kind of forget about our hobbies. But I personally think that hobbies are so important. In the last few months I've been kind of busy, so I did kind of neglect my hobbies. But before my new semester starts, I wanted to dive into my hobbies once again. I personally think that hobbies are so important because they can provide a balance to our everyday busy lives. And also they're just fun. So without further ado, let's get started. So the very first hobby that I'd like to introduce to you is crocheting! You can almost create anything from yarn, and I really do love that about crocheting. I can show you a few examples of my crochet projects. The very first one would be this party dino, and he has a brother. Hi guys, here's Editor Jeannie, and I forgot to include a few crochet projects that I really wanted to show to you. So drum rolls for a little aesthetic show of projects that didn't make it into my first take. So here you're seeing my plant hanger, and I don't think that the tutorial is too difficult. It takes a while because you have to crochet every strand of the plant individually, and of course this takes time, but it's totally worth it in my opinion. And it's such a great gift. I gifted one to my parents and they loved it. It's hanging in their car, and every time I see it I just feel very accomplished. And here you can see a panda. I think the panda one is a little bit more difficult, but again, it's totally worth it. I will link the tutorials in the info box for you if you want to recreate the crochet projects. And now let's move on. And the most recent project that I finished was this little hamster who's holding a cookie. And I think he's so cute. He's hanging on my backpack. And I just think crochet projects make very good gifts. They can be personalized, they can also be functional if you want. And they're also very fun to look at, I think. Colorful and cute and soft, and why wouldn't anyone like this? The second hobby that I'd like to introduce to you is not only reading, but I'd also like to recommend annotating the books. So putting in post-its and also highlighting the books. I know, some people may cringe right now because highlighting books, I know, is not for everyone. But for me personally, I just think when I am highlighting the most important parts, it helps me to focus on the core meaning or the core statement of the book or the paragraph. I just think that highlighting in my books makes me read more attentively. And also it's easier to find the paragraph or maybe the sentence that you want to reread again. The third hobby that I'd like to introduce to you is taking photographs. And you don't need a fancy camera at all in my opinion. I am no professional by any means. But I just love trying to capture the moments the way I see them. I think it's very fascinating because if you were to put 5 people into a room with a subject that you tell them to photograph, you will probably get 5 different photos of the same subject from different point of views, and I think that's so fascinating. Nowadays phones have such good cameras integrated in their own system already. You can basically just take it out of your pocket and point at any subject that you would like to photograph and start your photographing journey from there. I mean, sure, photos can only capture one moment, but I personally think it's more than that. When I look back at the photos, I can remind myself of the experience I made at that moment. And also it's a hobby that you can try right now. Maybe you can also play around with the editing feature that you have on your phone just to see what you can do. And in addition to that, you can also print out the photos and maybe make a photo album. I think that would be so cute. I've done that before and it was a lot of fun. It can be such a satisfying and also just fun activity. Maybe also do it with friends together. The fourth hobby that I'd like to show to you is this Switch, of course. I started playing with the Nintendo handhelds, I think After my 4th grade, I started with the Nintendo DS Lite, and I've loved the Nintendo systems ever since. Animal Crossing was of course my very first game. Animal Crossing Wild World, I still remember. It was my entry into the Animal Crossing world, and I was sucked into that rabbit hole from then on. Yeah. The most recent Animal Crossing title, which is New Horizons for the Switch, is different, but I still dig it. I'd say my favorite cozy titles would be Animal Crossing, of course, but also the Zelda games. Zelda Link's Awakening, but also Zelda Breath of the Wild, of course, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't finish that one yet. They're just classics that I can hardly imagine anyone not liking. And also because the Switch is portable, you can just hang out on your bed, on your couch, and just play it. That's what I love about the Switch. Because PC gaming is on another level, I know, but playing the Switch on your bed is just, it hits different, you know? And the last but not least hobby that I'd like to introduce to you is letter writing. I know nowadays writing letters is kind of obsolete, but in this world where everything is instant and also fast, the slow process of writing and sending and also receiving letters is, I think, just a beautiful way to take things a little bit slower. I just think that the fact your letter will take some time to get to the recipient and the suspense and waiting for the response is just exciting. I just think it's exciting, and I think the feeling is so unique. And in my personal opinion, I don't think that writing a letter needs a special occasion. An unique idea is also to maybe write a letter for your friend that is to be opened in future, like in 5 years or 10 years. I've done that before. The problem is to preserve and to remind yourself of the letter. If you do manage to keep the letter and to remind yourself of the letter, that's the coolest feeling ever. A letter from 5 years ago hits different. Another cozy hobby is what you see behind me, plants! And I just posted a video last week about beginner-friendly plants. I will link it here or here maybe. Now, since it's still very hot and we are kind of heading towards autumn, but it's still kind of hot. If you've been thinking about getting into plant care and maybe adopting your first plant, then take a look at my video from last week. It's here or here. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. I wish you a very nice day, take care, and see you next week. Bye!